guys? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today's chat is brought to you by On Story Parkway and Talk to Me, both available on Amazon. I went out and visited Ron Shelton a few years ago, and it's his contention that the Hollywood as I may have grown up with thinking it was isn't there anymore. Like it's more disparate kind of areas that produce films. Is that an accurate assessment?
I think so. I mean, you have feature films which have pretty much become just big studio movies, tentpole movies, and the independent film has sort of been absorbed by streaming services like Netflix and Amazon, Hulu, Apple Plus. So the business is, the business of making movies has become more diffused in a way.
Right.
And you have different levels of control that those different entities exercise in the making of films. So there's not as much autonomy always. There's kind of a fine line between television series now and movies, because some of the best writing and some of the best storytelling is being done on streaming services and cable television shows. So
if you were to ask me right now what my favorite production, let's just say production, as much as I like certain films, I'd say Better Call Saul was for me the pinnacle of storytelling, because they had 6 years to tell a story.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was a great character. First of all, you have to start with characters that are compelling, characters that people just want to see what happens next with.
Right.
They don't necessarily always have to be, they don't always necessarily have to be likable from the get-go. They don't have to be, it used to be in storytelling that you wanted to get people on the side of your characters to begin.
Dorn was a character that you didn't like right away, right? In Major League. Yeah. And you wanted to do that, right? And talk to me, was that a conscious effort with him, and kind of segue into Major League, and how is it found such a, when I talk to people, there's Bull Durham, there's Major League, but Major League seems to edge out Bull Durham. And I'm a little surprised in some ways, because I don't see them as the same animal, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? And I see them as...
Yeah, no, I've always felt that it was strange to compare those two movies. I happen to love Bull Durham,
yeah.
But Bull Durham is it's a much different tone than Major League is a comedy.
Yeah.
And Bull Durham is kind of a romantic dramedy. Mm-hmm. And I think they're very different kinds of movies, and they're kind of trying to do different things.
Right.
And so when people compare them one to one, I just feel like it's apples to oranges. I'm not quite sure why they do that. People tend to compare their favorite things in a certain area to other things in that same area, but I've never felt that the comparison of Major League and Bull Durham was one that really made a lot of sense to me.